Start Repair bringing you some more Master League action. Playing today spawning in the south, we have KOES playing as US Forces. In his loadout is Tactical Support, Urban Assault, and Rifle Company. Facing off against him in the north, we have KOES playing as Osir, who has Elite Troops, Assault Support, and German Mechanized. The map is Crossroads X, and you can see here 5 VP maps, so spicing things up. Otherwise, I believe basically dead standard Crossroads action, but yeah, 2 extra victory points. One over here to try and speed things up on this map for tournament play. It's going to be a spicy one, see how it mixes things up. Should mean to less comebacks, maybe less drawn out fights, a bit more aggressive in the early game. In terms of where this is positioned, this is the lower bracket. Both players lost in the round of 16. KOES to Orange Pest, we saw that, I cast that. And KOES to Isildur, so that's a very tough matchup for him. Went down 2-1 though, so it's good size for KOES if he can take a match off Isildur like that. I think he has been training pretty hard. I think he's like top 10 with a lot of factions and ladder at the moment. Sign that he's been training up. Getting well prepared for this tournament. And yeah, this is both players have won one match in the lower bracket. They meet in their second match in the lower bracket, which is, I think the spreadsheet said 13th to 16th position. If you lose, I suppose that would be.
Capture point is under attack.
So standard build here from KOES, 3 rifles. Not trying to skimp on the rifleman here, like we've seen from some other players. Maybe trying to go for like a fast M20 double light vehicle, M20 Stewart or M20 Greyhound. And if you guys aren't familiar with the rules, there were some commando vetoes this time. I got things a bit wrong last time, but this time I think it's 3 commanders vetoed from the Eastern Front faction, so we have more commanders, and 2 from the Western Front. Each player gets to select that many vetoes, so the opponent can't play those against them. So it can impact faction and commander selection here. What we've seen. Okay, Pie's getting quite low here. Oh, early grenade from KOES, trying to catch KOES off guard, but it kind of almost looked like he did more damage to his own squad. That he did to Creativename didn't really work out too well for him. And we have seen quite a lot more of that style. Very early grenade tech as US Forces. It's been rising in popularity, especially against Aussie, you know, with that stationary unit in the early game, the machine gun, the MG42 compared to OKW. It's a nice target for it, especially if you can flank it. Slightly bad positioning on the machine gun there from Creativename, doesn't get it involved. It's these riflemen here spinning around now. You see KOES just slowly backpedaling, staying out of range of that there. I think the crew did fire on the rifleman there. So he's aware of its position roughly. We see KOES going for a 4 green start. Does mean generally a slower 2-2-2 going for that option, but a bit more heft to the early game. And the pops for Creativename, very early retreat there from KOES, and they're going for a super early ambulance here. He's got a lot of low health riflemen, trying to conserve some manpower early here. Oh, Rifleman hanging on a little bit too long after completing that capture. Some one extra model, but the MG42 didn't quite set up to fire in time. Briefly going for a 50. Oh, he cancelled the ambo, started the 50, then restarted the ambo. That's going to cost KOES. He's got a couple squads waiting in base for healing now. It definitely should not have cancelled the ambulance.
Our opponents are seizing a sector.
Okay, bit of a cut-off move here from the rear echelon. Oh, but they accidentally leave. They jump into cover there. Heartbreak for KOES. And Creatiname, oh, sorry about that. Bit erratic on the little mouse button. Creatiname looking really strong right now. Very strong position for him.
Our lines of supply are disrupted.
KOES, you know, delaying himself with that healing, really hurting himself. He's going back onto the field with these super hurt squads, but it's going to cost him a lot of manpower. Dropping models like that. Good work here from KOES, drawing fire with the rear echelon, then closing in with the low health rifleman. We see Cian turning around to fight the rifleman now. Look at how quickly they drop. Full retreats there from both players.
Let's get her going.
Slow engagement here, cover to cover. KOES going for a 50 cal next. And ordinarily going for both ambulance and a 50 cal might slow down your Stuart, but because KOES hasn't had the best fuel control and he went for grenades, his Stuart's going to be delayed. So he does have time to squeeze this in here, I believe.
Heavy machine gun team, ready for orders.
And now a 222 coming up for Creatiname, but you can see very, very late. It's got 53 fuel in the bank at this stage. So this can be the impact of going for both a mid bunker and extra grenadier before that 222. Cause a bit of a manpower bite. Grenade over here. Doesn't look like it hit too much though. Creatiname on point with the dodging so far. Good reaction times. And taking a look at the VPs at the moment. Creatiname in control of 4 of them. Look, quite a lot of drain against KOES, but he is relieving the VP pressure right now. Also nice to see KOES with the sweeper. Doesn't want to get hit off guard by the Telemine. But at the moment, probably could expect not to see one for Creatiname, having gone for the mid bunker, 2 troop upgrades. KOES wouldn't be aware of that mid bunker like we are. Might be able to expect it though. These squads coming back onto the battlefield full health. Don't generally see too many players make heavy utilization of those Vet 1 green med kits. Cheaper in the long run to just go for the bunker. Okay, engine damage. Pies are in the center at the moment, so it's going to slow down the 222. Pies a bit of breathing room for KOES to try and get the cap off here on the fuel point as well. So I think that was a worthy munitions investment for him. But LMG Grenadiers here, Rifleman should have just hit retreat. Oh, this is a little bit of waste of manpower. He's on for the fuel for, I don't know, a couple seconds extra there, but I don't think that was worth dropping 2 or 3 models of Rifleman. Stuart about to pop out, but Creatiname already with the pack. Also interesting to note, Creatiname did go for like double Grenadier bulletins, so you know with the 4 Grenadiers, you're pretty strong. I suppose you can count the Faust bulletin for Grenadiers as well. Some players, oh, trying to go for a predictive grenade there once again, kind of triggering it on his own squad though. Not really working out. Here comes 222 now, freshly repaired. And man, those riflemen dropping quickly there. The grenade not working out for KOES at all. Oh boy, and Creatiname wants to get the wipe here. Here comes the Stuart though, and the 222's long range sight bailing him out of some trouble. Stuart wants to go hunting, but trying to stay out of Faust range. Trying to set up. Coming in here for some damage. Missing its first shot, and KOES able to get out of there nice and safe. To force the lieutenant off the fuel. Now having to push back onto the right side. Yeah, KOES starting to fall a little bit behind in these infantry engagements now that all these LMGs are equipped onto the Grenadiers. Because he's spamming grenades. Both doesn't have the resources as easily available to tech weapon racks, and doesn't have the munitions to get a whole bunch of bars either. This is where sometimes tactical support can come in handy. There's M1919s, where you don't have to worry about taking weapon racks. It'll be pretty nice.
You will not let up. The enemy still has 300 points.
But neither player selecting their commander so far. Oh, good connection there from the pack. We get another shot in. No. Decides to pull back quite early on as well, away from the lieutenant. Didn't want to risk getting decrewed. Engine damage going to come through. And the bazooka about to pop here, so KOES trying to chase in here, hoping to take down the 222. Here we go, bazooka popping. Oh, and he misses. That probably would have been the killing blow as well. Try to stand range for another shot, MG42, but it's just too much firepower. Doesn't want to risk losing the lieutenant for one more bazooka shot, which probably would have been suppressed anyway. So that is heartbreak for KOES. Nearly worked out for him nicely there. Really good timing on the bazooka upgrade completing, but doesn't ultimately get rewarded for that. Trying to close the distance here, but good switching of focus fire there for Creativename. And look at how quickly they're dropping miles now. Those Vet 2 Grenadiers with their bonus accuracy spitting out so much more damage now. Look at this KD, heavily stacked against KOES. Yeah, that can happen. Going for those grenades often leads to maybe less steady manpower attrition from the weapon racks, but more wipes. But so far, Creativename on point with the dodges. Wipes not coming. And a second pie picked up for Creativename as well. Got his tier 3 tech going down. Smooth sailing for him at the moment. Okay, second 50 cal for KOES. Interesting choice. I think that's the wrong one. I think he needs to go captain into a T-gun at this stage. Should realize how far behind he is in Creativename. It's like 200 manpower roughly away from a medium tank. And KOES by going for a second 50 cal at this stage. Not going to have an answer to that medium anytime soon. Not going to have the manpower for it. Has gone for weapon racks though, got them on the rifleman, so I suppose he can go for some bazookas maybe, but once again that's going to cause a lot of manpower bleed. Fighting against the Panzer IV.
The territory is out of contact.
Honestly, in this scenario as KOES, you could have gone for tactical support. Yeah, I think that would have been my preferred style for KOES. Not go for weapon racks. Captain into a T-gun, tactical support, get the M1919s, and then maybe even just go for like a no major Calliope action. Could be quite strong. We'll see what KOES gets up to. In a tough spot against Creativename, though. The back of the double 50 cals though, forcing Creativename back a bit, but that's going to be completely reversed once that Panzer IV arrives. Take a look at VPs as well. We can see KOES under 250 already. The 5 VP format. The lead much more pronounced for Creativename to this point. And these kind of engagements charging in like this, just costing KOES so much manpower.
Enemy forces are securing our territory.
Every single time. Looking for the wipe here on the Pio double bar squad, but doesn't quite get it. And Panzer IV about to pop out for Creativename. Could be a reasonable time for him to lock into his commander, maybe elite troops. There's smoke on his Panzer IV. Could be pretty handy in this scenario.
Panzer IV is ready for battle.
Very interesting to see, though, no commanders with the Stuka Close air support for Creativename. I wonder if KOES vetoed them all. They are typically, you know, pretty good against US forces, those planes. Very handy against the Jackson, I find. Oh, MG in the building. Kind of lucky break there. First shot from the Panzer IV, connecting with the wall. It gets out just in the nick of time. Very, very close call for KOES. Now, Creativename pushing back onto the battlefield. He did retreat with his rear echelon. Got enough for a couple of bazookas here. So he has to be careful until he gets that extra bazooka support, though. Got a Talamine down over here, by the way, as well. We actually saw Creativename go for double flamers as one commander, which has rifleman field defenses, rifle company. Technically, there could be a mine down. I suppose there could also be the rear echelon light mines, but not too many people worry about those too much, or even plant them. Okay, here we go. Rear echelon Zooks closing in on the Panzer IV. Oh, that's a nasty connection. They're kind of right on the edge of the cover. There's a big hit from the Panzer IV, sticking around for some more hits. 6 kills already. To a roaring start. 3v2 on the drain at the moment. 2 on the far side. Pack coming through the center, and this looks like a big rotation across to the left for Creativename. Gonna get a lot of damage done here. TKO, nice suppression, holding on the other side in the meantime. But the Panzer IV got those bazooka REs forwards, just nothing to stop him here. Okay, setting up just ever so slightly out of range. LMG Grenadier is going to work. Been suppressed though. Gonna get one pack shot in, probably back out after that though. Panzer IV switching sides. Oh, and the 50 cal got decrewed here. LMG Grenadier's behind heavy cover. KOES maybe moving that forwards and just end up losing it there. Big loss for him. This Creativename got to pick that up. It kind of looks like it.
Strafe run available. Fragmentation bombing can begin at any time.
Oh my god, an open blitz getting deployed here for Creativename.
Aid in resource production.
Don't see that very often in a 1v1, but probably better than a cache overall. Mobile costs less. Interesting tactic. Creativename does have quite a few resources in reserve though, both munitions and fuel. So the fact that he does go for that truck makes me think he's going to go for the Tiger next. It's kind of the only thing that makes sense that he wants to save for here. Oh, he puts on the Muni's point. Interesting. Frag bombs are very, very powerful. Sweeper spotting the Talamine here. Could be a detonation though if he tries to chase over it. Go down. And just bleeding too much. LMG Grenadiers and Panzer IV. Drop down to 2 models there. Didn't want to risk taking another Panzer IV shot and maybe losing the squad. And even then, you know, you're hanging around for just one bazooka to connect. Not that impressive. Major RD on the building. KOES has managed to squeeze out the major. Just about there for a regular Sherman if that's what he wants to go for. Meanwhile, Creativename could push out another Panzer IV here. Has not gone for Battle Phase 3. Oh man, another wipe? Is Is that a rifleman? I see one rifleman squad missing. Oh, and Creativename looking to pile on the pressure here. Another Panzer IV is going to be the option. Not going to store out for the Tiger, and I think that makes sense. He's in a winning spot right now. It's going to be the regular Sherman for KOES. No suppression there. So where the Grenadiers got the second Panzer IV coming in, kind of revealing itself though, driving that close to the point, gives KOES a little bit of time to move, and he finally seeks the commander. 21 minutes in, going to be urban assault. And there we go. Major goes down. Sherman coming across to the side here on armor piercing as well. Panzer IV backs out quite quickly. Pack rotating, second Panzer IV coming in. Some REs are forwards, but bleeding very, very quickly. Oh boy, Sherman took a pack shot, I believe, there, and now the Panzer IV chasing and looking for the kill, but he's going to take engine damage in the process. Got the Stuart coming around on the rear here as well, and a slight miss micro from Creativename over rotating with that Panzer IV. But the Stuart can't stick around, wants it to stay on the rear armor of that Panzer IV, unable to do so. Second Panzer IV forcing him back. So it gives KOES a bit of breathing room here. Okay, he's calling in the frag bombs on the MG. Brought them in from the wrong side as well, from the slow side of the map, but still, KOES a little bit too late dodging away. Gets the D crew there. So we might push him with the pack to try kill this, but just guarding the Panzer IV here. Big old flank from KOES. Sneaks around the side.
We have reduced our foe. The enemy is attempting to steal our sector.
Laid out. Doesn't sound like it hit too much, but does allow the recrew on the machine gun at the very least. Oh man, and the squad that he lost as well, it was his double bar rifle squad, so it was the most costly of them all. It's really painful for KOES. Pack, yeah, okay, KOES just going to throw in the towel right there. Oh boy, well, that was a bad start there for KOES. You know, he went for that early grenade tech style, but Creativename just razor sharp with the dodges. I think those grenades almost never connecting on Creativename. Very, very good reactions. And then KOES's build, you know, he had that painful point. He was starting the ambulance. He cancelled it for the 50 cal. Then he restarted the ambulance. That really hurt him. His rifleman just bleeding a lot of manpower during that delay because he sent them back out without healing. And I think KOES overall maybe lingering a little bit too long with this rifleman when they're on low health. Bleed a little bit too much manpower throughout the situation. Also going for the second 50 cal instead of the Lieutenant Side Tech. I think that was a mistake as well. Side teching across and going for the AT gun. I did, you know, illustrate a possible build option for KOES with the Calliope, double officer skipping the Major. But he went for a late urban assault, which, you know, the Dozer Blade does make his Sherman a lot more durable. Would have been quite nice, but he's already too far gone at that stage. GG, just, yeah, really solid play here for Creativename. Working his 4 Grenadier start very, very effectively. Never lost his 222 during all that. And yeah, very, very solid play all around. GG, and we'll go on to the second one. Game 2 here, and I thought I'd start this one a tiny bit early because Creativename going for a slightly unusual build here. Second combat engineer like straight away, and then conscripts after that. So worth noting, you know, usually players go 3 conscripts and then the extra combat engineer if that's going to be their starting build. But Creativename going for a slight alteration on that. Interesting to note. But yeah, that does mean he's playing as Soviets. He's got Guard Motor, Motor Assault, and Defensive, and KOES against him. Playing Zos there, who has Osttrooper, hasn't locked into that yet, so probably not going to see it. German Infantry. and assault support. So assault support seeing in 2 games so far, a little bit surprising. Maybe that's how the vetoes lined up. I have heard that Ostroupen is still quite strong. Apparently Isildur had a strategy with it, which was quite good. So, you know, nice to see that commander's not dead, despite what a lot of people said. So strong that in fact it received a few vetoes this tournament. Interesting to note. Okay. Conscripts. 3 conscripts. And this does lead to a lot of territory control. You can see this from Creativename right here. Not sure what the difference is. Oh, got a little bit too close to that bunker there. I'm not sure what the build time difference is on conscripts and combat engineers, but I have to imagine combat engineers build a little bit faster. You can see, you know, he managed to have 5 squads on the field, where KOES only had 4 for quite a while there. And on top of that, KOES, you know, has to take time to build his tier 1, so a much faster start for Creativename than KOES getting this one going here. And so far, the MG42 for KOES hasn't fired at anything. Here we go, the first bit of damage from it now. So it's kind of bad for KOES. Creativename getting stuck in here, but outnumbered 3v1. Going to lose these conscripts very, very quickly doing this. Relatively early on the retreat, but did still drop 2 models. Got the medics back here waiting for the heals though. KOES starting to fight back with the arrival of that 3rd Grenadier, now the 4th one coming in. So it's interesting, you know, some players going for the 3 greens, some players going for the 4 greens. KOES though hasn't actually connected his munitions yet, and that can be really costly as well there. So reliant on munitions in the early game, tellers, LMGs, and for their medics. See if that comes back to bite him later on. Wanted to come out here and maybe fight from light cover, but the 2nd Grenadier is there, ends up going a little bit off course for Creativename, and we've got another Grenadier joining in on the fun as well. Sneaking around the side here with these conscripts, getting behind the MG, going to go for the cap on the fuel. Grenadier's capping in the center now. Tier 2 down for Creativename. Did have the option of maybe lingering in base with this combat engineer going for tier 3, but not necessary. 2nd combat engineer retreating now, can build it up with that instead. Oh, rough nade in. Creativename hitting retreat on that dodge. Didn't want to take the risk. Conscripts don't quite manage to brawl out those 2 Grenadiers there. Would have been close though. Potentially I think he could have won if the RNG was in his favour, but hangs on. Sandbags down on the fuel as well for Creativename, looking to dig in over there. Flamethrower coming through the centre. Out of flamethrower range now. I might just try and stall around the building for a while though. And a little bit strapped for manpower right now, Creativename. Going to come back onto the battlefield even with that combat engineer. So his tier 3 might be a little bit late. Definitely would be too late if he was hoping to go for a quad.
We are losing a sector.
But, you know, T70 is still much more popular than the quad so far this tournament from what I've seen. Even though up against Aussie specifically, it does seem to be pretty good. Trying to plant a mine though, interrupted by the Grenadiers blasting away. Conscripts closing the distance. Still no cap on the muni point there for KOES though. Points are ticking against Creativename right now. Wow, how are these Grenadiers hanging on here? Very, very lucky with their model drops. Should not have done anywhere near that good in that engagement. Miracle there for KOES, and now he can come back and heal up. Didn't drop a single model there. That's heartbreaking for Creativename.
The territory is
Really
out of
feels like the
contact.
game's pitched against you when stuff like that happens.
We are losing a sector.
Should have been a much more comfortable win for
We have a new
KOES there.
scout car.
2-2-2 popping out, but quite late, you know, with the 4 green timing. Same story as last game.
The enemy
Whereas
is
in some of the
attempting
other
to
games
steal
with
our
3 green,
sector.
we've seen them at like 5:30 or thereabouts. Or even slightly earlier than that, I think. In one of the
Our
series.
lines of
So,
supply are disrupted.
about a minute and a half later on, before it's on the battlefield. Threatens the snare, and he does have AT grenades ticked, worth noting. Wasn't a fake out. Another thing that can cause a delay to a light vehicle. If he hadn't gone for that AT grenade tick, could have been building his T70 right now. Was that tripwire zone? Tripwire going off? No. Over here.
Our opponents are seizing
Squad's
a
trying to
sector.
flank around here. Reposition from KOES. Pretty good flame burst there. He's going to try hang around. Not Molotov in, and that forces the retreat. And defensive picked up here by KOES going for a Dishka. But by going for that option, is going to slow down his T70. Doesn't have the manpower for it. Only 2 fuel away from the T70 and quite a few more squads to reinforce as well. So further delays here. Pack in production for KOES as well. Going for the kill on the sandbag in the center. Interesting. Dishka spins around quickly. And suppresses.
Gun has arrived. The enemy is taking our territory.
T70. Okay.
The sector has been cut off.
Pack in a pretty aggressive position there for KOES. T70 about to pop out now for KOES.
Enemy forces are securing our territory.
A fresh mine down there as well. No sweeper for KOES worth mentioning, so he has been operating somewhat dangerously. Because there are a few mines down from KOES. Very easily could have triggered one here. Going for a wee crush on that wire as well, opening up that heavy cover position for KOES later on.
We are losing a sector.
Mine triggering, 2 moles down. Dishka opening up. Didn't pop the AP ammo, but still decent damage. And here comes the T70 out onto the right hand side.
Out of contact.
KOES with around 100 VP lead at this stage.
The crew has arrived.
You can see if this T70 can stabilize. KOES also going for the mortar. Does seem fond of it. I think we saw them twice against Orange Pest as well, so he really likes the mortar teams. M42 also deployed here by KOES. A little bit strange to see it like this later on. Usually you see it a bit earlier to counter the light vehicles. Maybe if the player doesn't have tier 2 as well. I mean, it's still decent against medium tanks, but yeah, mild surprise.
The enemy is attempting to steal our sector.
Nice work there from KOES, so pulling back with that Grenadier. So he doesn't take so much damage from the Flamer. 42 through the center, 1 connection. The repairs required on the 222. And the 222 for how long it's been on the battlefield, not even Vet 1 yet. Around 4 minutes. Even more than that on the front line. Oh, he got in range for the snare there. T70 though, can he find an angle? He's not full health, so it would be a little bit risky. 2 pack shots and he'll go down here. You can see he wants it. conscripts. Oh, starting to fall off a little bit against these LMG Grenadiers. Starting to struggle. Bit of pressure onto the pack. It's so low now that he probably needs to pull that back to the base to heal up. But he's not going to, so that is a bit of a risky play from KOES. BO3 with the incendiary rounds active, but Creativename hiding behind a sight blocker. Don't have like attack ground with that MG in the building. Or at any time. Pack attack ground shots though. Wards it off. Incendiary rounds short burst there before the incendiary rounds deactivate. So far though, the lines haven't really been that steady. Haven't allowed the mortar to set up and start blasting. Oh boy, this could be trouble for the T-70 though. Pack connecting. Attack rounds though, not going to work with that wall there. Didn't have sight, so close call. Good connection from the mortar there. Very, very low on that M42. Much damage on the 222 once again. That's in a very defensive position here. That's just lob a Molotov, but it's just on the corner of the building. Doesn't look like it's doing any health damage at all to the MG42 in sight. And now the MG42 could get the wipe even. It's a very, very close call. Looks like he drops one model, but yeah, that Molotov didn't quite get close enough for it. Oh. Dodges the rifle nade. Tier 4 going down now for Creativename though. Finds the time to build it, and important so he can start upgrading those conscripts with the 7-man upgrade. He's not bleeding so much manpower. Got tier 3 going down for KOES in the meantime. And not too far away from his medium tank where's Creativename. Much further away from T-34. I'm told that this, I believe this is a visual bug. It shouldn't be, Rocket Run should be anti-tank Overwatch here, and I believe that players can activate the regular ability, just a bug with the mod. This being the 32-bit version, since Observer mode is still not working for 64-bit. Well, Observer mode for custom games is for ladder games somehow. Very confusing. Good old cluster of team weapons there, but not much Creativename can do against it. No indirect fire for him at the moment. Sandbag's working against Creativename here with his Dishka. T-70 trying to weave its way through, hiding behind the building at the moment. Doing some damage. Okay, goes for an attack round. Doesn't quite have sight, I think, because of that wall there on the building. T-70 hitting Vet 1. Bit of a drive-by. Creativename has stabilized the VP situation though, even if he seems to be bleeding quite a lot of manpower at the moment. Take a quick look at the KD here. You can see how just atrocious it's been for him over this period. Bleeding so much to those LMG Grenadiers. Goes briefly going for the green med kit, but hits the retreat. Incendiary rounds activated here. Fine. Trying to find an angle, but T-70 ducks away before it has time to fire. Looking for the chase down on the Grenadiers, but doesn't quite get the wipe. Still no commander selection from KOES this late into the game. Have to imagine it's going to be assault support as well. Frag bombs. And the pinning plane. Double shooting that mortar there. Here comes the Panzer IV. T-70 could be in some trouble here. Try and drive away. No snares, no mines. Oh, that's a lucky break for Creativename. KOES going to stay in range for at least one more shot here. Misses it though. I think he tried to stay stationary, but started driving slightly too early. That shot was on the move. And lucky break there for Creativename. His T70 easily could have gone down, but gets away. The 42 setting up here, going to result in engine damage from these conscripts as well. Double AT grenades there just to inflict even more damage, slow the repairs.
Pioneers ready for assignment.
Get that Panzer IV off the battlefield. But at least the bleed not going to be quite so steep for Creativename. Upgrading all his conscripts with the 7-man upgrade. T70 not fully repaired, but it looks like he's coming out onto the front lines with it here. Wants to sway the troops from this flank. Creativename right around the time for his T34 rather, but just needs a tiny bit more manpower here. Telemine going down, but the community just did spot that. Cancels it. Gonna go for repairs. Iron capping at the same time out the back. Efficient play. This MG in the buildings caused Creativename a lot of headaches, though. He just doesn't have the answer for it at the moment. Doesn't have the ZIS, so can't use the ZIS barrage, which would be a pretty common tactic.
Our lines of supply are disrupted.
Yeah, so like a little bit too late in the game. Like he's going to go for a rough nade onto that mine. Will it trigger? Yes. Actually, I think that got patched, right? It always triggers these days. It used to be like around a third chance that it wouldn't in the past. Okay, he's trying to Ura in for the Molotov, but look at how quickly he gets pinned by that MG42. Did, though, give KOES cold feet. He did pop out, expecting that Molotov to connect. M42 lining up. Bouncing. Second pack coming in for KOES. He's gone for battle phase 3 here, so maybe he's going to go for the Tiger Store. From assault support. It's going to relieve a bit of pressure from Creativename though, compared to just pushing for another medium tank right at this stage. Especially because Creativename, doesn't have a proper anti-tank gun. Just have trouble answering the medium tanks right now. With Creativename, he's actually got a decent amount of fuel still, even after building that first T34, so by the time KOES is ticked up and got his Tiger out, Creativename very easily could have an SU-85. It's a great counter for the Tiger. Well, you don't see too many Tigers these days against Soviets especially. SU-85 just such a powerhouse against it. Sending rounds forcing back that T70. Panzer IV quite badly damaged at the moment.
We are losing a sector.
The tail mine going down for KOES, so yeah, he's very determined to get those tellers down. Good connection from the Panzer IV there. Creativename still on the drain. 150 VPs behind at this stage. Building getting a little bit low as well. KOES jumping out with the AMG. Pack nearby, but he did start to move it, so it doesn't sit down for an attack round or anything like that. Creativename actually going to go for a second T34. We did see, this commander see a bit of play from Kimbo back in the day. Just mass T34s. Oh, with the RAM, with the anti-tank overwatch. But a slight chink in the defenses here for KOES. Nothing protecting the pack at the moment, so conscripts standing right on top of it. Getting a lot of bleed. Starting to fall apart a little bit here for KOES. Pack gets decrewed. That was the one with veterancy as well. Bit of a shame to lose that. Mortar team in some trouble here. T-34. Potentially could have got the decrew there. Got the double LMG switching back into the center though. Panzer IV almost fully repaired. And the second pack's there as well. Connecting. T-70 though inflicting quite a lot of bleed. Oh, speaking of, combat engineers in some big trouble. Oh man, but the LMGs might have been reloading or something at that stage. One more LMG burst from both. I think would have gone down there. Lucky break for Creativename. But yeah, I was going to say the anti-tank Overwatch. Creativename has been saving up his munis. A very good munitions income at the moment as well. But, well, forget what I just said. He's just spent about 50 on something. Maybe some more mines. Yeah. For a little bit ambitious here perhaps. M42 and T-34 with the conscripts there. Oh boy, and a slight miss micro on it. Very lucky that Creativename didn't hoorah forwards for the AT grenade, because that could have been a dead tank right there. Oh, the other T-34 is going to come in from the side though. Look for the kill. The double packs not quite facing off in the right direction. Bit of a lucky break there that he actually gets the kill. T-34 going to go for a bit of a drive-by. No snaring squads. The double packs spin around. And down he goes. KOES does end up pushing out another Panzer IV, so he ticked up to battle phase 3 ultimately for nothing here. Slowed down his second Panzer IV. Didn't do anything with it. At the very least for KOES, that was a good trade. He was very quick on spinning the packs around. Creativename kind of stopping, hoping to kill the 222. Didn't end up working out for him though. 222 was a little bit too healthy to die to just one tank shot there anyway. But the points training gets KOES in this particular instance. Good connection from the pack there, but he's not quite in range for the snare. Still no command section from KOES either, by the way. I suppose his munis haven't really got in range, so he could actually utilize too much decrew on the M42. KOES looking to get aggressive here. Pegging Creativename back because T-34 in some trouble. Panzer IV coming in. M42 goes down to the pack. He pushed forwards very nicely with that. So no AT gun. But KOES deciding to pull back here. Going to take engine damage. It's going to slow him down a bit. So Creativename hangs in there. Could have gone just horribly for him. Like no anti-tank almost. Before the second T-34 came out, he easily could have lost both these tanks. What's that mortar doing? Already Vet 3 by the way. Only 4 kills, but yeah, must have been doing a tremendous amount of health damage. KOES working those mortars nicely. 222 season coming long range, backs out very quickly.
Our opponents are seizing a sector.
Incendiary rounds activating. Keep that T-70 honest. Oh, negative cover though, that's a lot of damage. There he goes. Is it going to chase him for the wipe here? No AT guns or the Panzer IV nearby to assist, but no, Creativename playing it solid. Going to chase him for the kill there. Doesn't want to risk losing his tank. Safe call. Panzer IV getting a little bit further forwards. Double T-34 so causing KOES some issues. And with the T-70, that's 3 tanks. Can be tough to position your packs accordingly. bleed on both sides there. Starting to settle down. Ooh! Nasty shot there from KOES. Was a little bit greedy hanging around. 3 models low health. He pays the ultimate price. Squad down. He was very quick. He was starting the retreat there as well. Very quick to react to that. Panzer IV coming back in, but Panzer IV gets a money shot. GG. KOES. I think anti-tank Overwatch is 200, right? So we can activate it. Oh, T-34 coming in from the side here. Back spinning around. Just out of range for a follow-up shot. T-34 considering going in. Back missing. Really is trying to delay the Faust, hoping to get engine damage, but ultimately have to retreat. And T-34 getting a lucky scatter shot, actually dropping that mortar very low. Look at the KD. KOES still suffering really, really badly, but does seem to have settled down a bit at the very least. Now with these vehicles inflicting a lot of bleed onto KOES. He's also managed to field an anti-tank gun, proper one this time, so it's going to cause KOES' Panzer IVs a few headaches. Especially if we see some ram action. Okay, here we go. He's calling in the ability. Anti-tank Overwatch, but no ram. And the packs keep the T-34s back. So yeah, I don't know about that. A bit of a poor activation of that anti-tank Overwatch. Panzer IV going back into the danger zone though. I don't know about that. Lucky break there, didn't take engine damage. Damage not quite lining up for KOES, but either way, there's some good repairs required now for that Panzer. But KOES has been working the victory points quite nicely over the last 5 minutes or so. Just about leveled the playing field in that department.
Enemy forces are securing our territory.
I was pretty actually close to his pop cap limit here. Once everything's fully reinforced, can maybe squeeze in one more tank, but having this many vehicles with just 2 repair pioneers can be a headache sometimes.
The enemy is taking our territory.
As we're looking to engage here, he's got the pack pushing forwards, but doesn't quite set it up in the right direction. So KOES avoids any damage. Just a few touches like that from KOES. They haven't quite been there. Missing damage. Uh-oh. Oh boy, he's driving forwards. A bit ambitious. Not full health, so takes engine damage. And now the pack, I don't know what he's doing with this. In front of the disco will go down very, very quickly. Manages to take down the T-34 on the far side, but he's going to lose his pack for the trouble.
We have lost a pack gun.
And there we go, KOES jumping on it. Gonna go for the steal. Green is trying to prevent that coming in from multiple angles. Got the Zis rotating across Panzer IV there as well. Back lining up on the T-34 Zis. Fending off. So good pick off. KOES picks off the T-34, but it costs him a pack. Painful.
We are losing a sector.
KOES right around there for another tank himself. Does free a bit of pop cap up for KOES though. He is hurting for manpower right now, but
The enemy is attempting to steal our sector.
maybe could squeeze in one more tank. But yeah, this is where Soviets in the late game really, you know, a lot of players think they're absolutely top tier in these 1v1 scenarios. 7-man conscripts, very hard to wipe, very low bleed. Same story with the weapon teams, low bleed, very hard to decrew. So much staying power.
Securing our territory.
from Soviets in the late game. And that makes them very hard to deal with. Whereas KOES, if he wants to reduce his bleed, has to go for his tier 4 tech structure. Which, even though he teched to Battle Phase 3, never put tier 4 down. And generally, you know, kind of isn't worth it just for the Grenadier reinforcement reduction in most cases. But Creativename with the VP lead right now. KOES with his AT gun positioning just not that sharp. Creativename constantly finding angles away from the pack to do a lot of damage to KOES' manpower. Yeah, I feel like KOES may be slightly missing a window there. Could have pushed out another Panzer IV, gone for the 3v1. Oh boy, okay, he's just going to go with the 2. Calling in the frag bombs. Looking for the kill on the Zis. I guess a decrew on it there. Second Panzer IV getting aggressive, but he took too much damage on the way in from the pack. And the T-34 survives. Panzer IV wanting to come back and go for the kill on the decrew weapon there, but now maybe exposing himself to a kill from the conscripts. They're going to come in for the AT grenade. Oh boy, the AT grenading model keeps dying, and they don't manage to get it through there. Oh, but the pack pushes forwards, and he finishes the job. That just went horribly wrong for KOES. Man, KOES in such a nice position this game, but Creativename just slowly grinding him down here. That was just such an ill-advised push there. Creativename's AT gun position was strong. And ultimately, KOES lost both his tanks. Decrews the Zis, can get the kill on it here. Pack setting up. No, he's gonna pick it up. A little bit risky. But it looks like he might get away with it. Okay. So salvaging the situation a bit. 222 still alive, by the way. Hasn't been repaired for a while, however. T-34 triggers that Talamine there. Slows him down, but nothing to go in for the follow-up. Double AT guns are a little bit low in health here. Oh boy, it's at the end of the 222. Yep, Dishka finds him, but don't know how he had sight. T-70 also going down there. So I'll take that trade. Getting rid of the T-70 finally. That's been a real thorn in KOES' side. And it feels like he hasn't been using the 222 that much for sight. He hasn't been, you know, fending off maybe the occasional conscript. Going for caps on the flanks, but T-70 stronger at that than the 222 is. 222 probably also a little bit worse than the T-70 in terms of recon when the T-70's got its recon mode active.
The sector is at risk. We have a new T-34
or maybe they're about the same actually. Creativename though, only one conscript after all this, so he is a bit lacking in infantry. And KOES found himself another tank. Army size is almost bang on even. KOES in a very dangerous position. His double AT guns are extremely low. Could go down very, very easily, and that's in fact what we're going to see here. Triple T-34s for Creativename, so you know you can't really afford to have your double AT guns this low. Just a small misposition and they will get decrewed, and that could be lights out, especially because Creativename has access to the anti-tank overwatch, so that could force back the Panzer IV, so he can't, you know, help defend the packs or the decrewed anti-tank guns with his tank. And another Okay, well, who needs conscripts when you got T-34s? That's what Creatiname says. They can act as a pseudo-conscript using the secure mode to control territory.
Enemy forces are securing our
Sets up
territory.
button. Once again, nothing really guarding it here. If these squads ran forwards and started shooting at it. Double T-34s. Oh boy.
Enemy unit destroyed.
Looks like the mine got killed there. Maybe didn't get the refund from it, but still was a little bit risky there from KOES. Creatiname maybe could have pulled the trigger on that occasion, gone for the ram, gone for the kill, but doesn't want to make a meal of that again.
We are losing a sector.
12 kills now on that mortar. Just been a steady performer. Pack. Okay, 2 shots off there. That's the bonus of having the Vet 2 there. So there's a lot of repairs now for Creatiname. He does have 2 combat engineers, but that's it. Okay, here we go. He's diving in all 3 tanks. Going for the jugular here. This pack very, very low. Dishka pushing in on it. Should get decrewed quite quickly, but the T-34 is missing. Just not getting any damage done at all on the Panzer IV.
Firing on our HQ.
But now this is what I was talking about, because anti-tank Overwatch is down. Creatiname can just focus on all the team weapons with his tanks. So even though he doesn't kill the Panzer IV, he can kill all of the support weapons. Staying on top of the Zis. Gets the decrew finally on that. Panzer IV coming back in, but he's taking a hammering now from the anti-tank Overwatch.
To steal our sector.
T-34 goes for the ram. Connects and penetrates. Panzer IV goes down. All the support weapons decrewed.
Have been reduced by 1.
KOES pushing out another Panzer IV. Can it arrive in time to salvage the situation? Try to go for the kill on the decrewed weapons. He's got the Dishka there. Stopping the recruit. Still got the T-34. I mean the Zis up there in the north. T-34 with the engine critical. There goes the pack. Don't know how he had sight of it from that range, but everyone's getting pinned there. T-34 coming in for a bit of a base inspection potentially.
Are seizing a sector.
Looking to stack up the bleed here. And is Creatiname going to go for the steal on these? Yep, mortar and MG42 getting picked up here, or maybe not the MG42. It's on the road.
Losing a sector.
Need of cover. He's going down fast. Look at how fast he is. And there it goes. Doesn't make it away because of that. So here comes the T-34. Maybe that will also prevent the recruit. Panzer IV finishes off the wounded T-34 there. But KOES not hitting retreat on that instantly. Sticks around for too long and it gets decrewed again. We've got the pack forwards for Creatiname as well.
We must stiffen our resolve.
Panzer
We are
IV
down to
looking for
70
the angle. Looks like he wants to go hunting here. Second T-34s are there. It's a very risky proposition. This one Vet 2 as well. But he's running good so far. Pinning and Creatiname bouncing. Connecting there. Pack. Good rotation on it, but it's behind his sight blocker. Goes in for the ram. Looks like it penetrated as well, and the pack finishing off the job. Good rotation of the pack from Creatiname.
destroyed.
And KOES finally throws in the towel. He was down on VPs, down to 53. But yeah, GG. So KOES, strong early game. Very impressive early game. But Creatiname able to grind this one out. Even with that first, kind of bad activation of the anti-tank Overwatch. Comes good in the late game. The late game of Soviets so sticky with all those team weapons. So hard to kill. So little bleed, and that turns it around for Creatiname nicely. As for KOES, I feel like maybe his pack positioning wasn't as strong as some of the other plays we see at this level. Felt like Creatiname found a lot of room to inflict a lot of bleed onto the squads. So it seems like he's a slight step behind. And, he selected his commanders very, very late often and just kind of didn't really use them. I think he used frag bombs once on that Zis, which was a nice play, but yeah, that was it. But alright. GG, Creativename. Looking pretty strong here, and takes down KOES 2-0. Well, anyway, guys, wrapping that. If you like good game pickups by me, details are in the video description below. Otherwise, I'll catch you off the next thrilling installment. Goodbye, and good luck.